Welcome back to Philadelphia. The Magic and the Philadelphia 76ers getting together for the fourth and final time this year. The Magic have won the 2 of the previous 3 meetings. Starting lineup presented by Steak and Shake for Orlando. Steve Francis and Doug Christie in the backcourt. Christie had 4 steals Thursday against Atlanta. Kelvin Cato, Dwight Howard, and Grant Hill for Orlando. And for Philadelphia, it'll be Allen Iverson and Andre Iguodala in the backcourt, and Samuel Dallenberg, who had a huge game against the Magic 3 weeks ago tonight in Orlando, will start at center. Corliss Williamson is in the starting lineup along with Kyle Korver. Williamson getting the nod over Kenny Thomas tonight, who injured his ankle last night in Toronto and will not play this evening for Philadelphia. So Williamson gets only his 4th start of the year. The opening tip is controlled by Philadelphia, and we're underway on a Saturday night from Philly. The Magic start the game with Doug Christie defending Allen Iverson. Francis got a hand on a pass from Iguodala, stolen by Christie. And Steve Francis forces the first turnover of the night.
Right away defensively saw Doug Christie go way underneath that high screen for Allen Iverson. So you pretty much get the idea. The Sixers very much aware they got to keep Allen Iverson out of the lane.
Dwight Howard unable to connect on the jump hook. Francis will get out of traffic and reset the offense for the Magic. The matchup inside Howard, defended by Williamson. Magic went to that matchup on the first possession. Grant Hill fires in the jumper to give Orlando a 2-0 lead.
76ers very much a vulnerable defensive team. They have a couple of principles that they adhere to on a regular basis. They front the post, they trap all pick and rolls, but in doing so they leave a lot of open shooters, consequently give up a lot of good looks at 3-point shots. Speaking of 3-point shooters, Kyle Korver.
Grant Hill had the ball knocked away. And the drive by Hill is goaltended by Dallenberg. Andre Iguodala got a hand in the face apparently. He's a little bit rattled. Give the bucket though to the Magic.
That's a very small front line for Philadelphia, with the exception of Samuel Dallenberg. Blocks just under 2 shots a game.
Corliss Williamson drives to the basket. We're tied at 4.
Tough matchup for Dwight Howard and Corliss Williamson. Yet throughout Corliss' career, he has had problems with taller, longer defenders. He tends to not think post up and goes out on the floor where he's less effective.
Rebound off the miss. Iverson racing up the floor. Misses the shot. I think Francis had a handful of jersey as Iverson drove by. Iverson gets the loose ball.
David, you get the feeling he's going at a different speed than everybody else?
Always.
About 180 RPMs. Everybody else is 90. He's a whipping.
Dwight Howard stepped out of bounds.
What a frightening feeling when Iverson is coming at you in the open floor. Even when you make him go to his left, still able to get in the lane and create an easy shot.
He gets the assist that time. Philly leads by 4. Christie off of a Howard screen. Off of Dwight Howard, out of bounds to Philadelphia.
Iverson with the behind the back. At least that time Doug Christie thinking at least take away that right hand. But it is not a one-man job trying to contain Allen Iverson.
3-point attempt by Iverson, rebounded by Francis. Steve goes between his legs at midcourt. And now goes one-on-one against Iverson. Steps through the double team. The shot clock is at 9. The rookie Iguodala defending Grant Hill. And Iguodala deflected the ball to Iverson. And a foul on Francis. Boy, he is just so fast up the floor, faster than anybody in this league. Maybe Earl Boykin, Speedy Claxton, but
Well, you know, two crafty veterans here with Steve Francis. All he wanted to do was run in front of Allen just to try to disrupt that shot. We take a look at our Toyota keys to the game. Always a good idea to take care of the ball. The Magic are 28th in the league with 16 turnovers. Again, Philadelphia happens to be #1 in forcing them. And you want to take the ball inside, despite the fact that D'Alembert is a shot block threat, but you'd like to get him into foul trouble. And that dominate the boards. That kind of worked the other night against Atlanta when the Magic didn't play a complete 48 minutes of good basketball because they were so tough on the boards. Able to get off to a good start. And of course, we've already mentioned the Dwight Howard 20 rebound game, 11 of them at the offensive end.
Philadelphia has not been a good rebounding team this year. They did out-rebound Toronto in their win last night, 106-91. Grant Hill has all 6 Magic points. Philadelphia leads by 4 with 8:15 to go in the first. Iguodala, tough bounce pass that's picked off Cato. A long pass ahead to Hill. And a nice job by Hill to catch up to the ball and lay it in.
And avoid Allen Iverson, who did exactly what Steve Francis tried to do to him before, just cutting in front of Grant to try to bother him.
Magic looking to push the ball again, but Philadelphia gets back defensively. Howard backing in on Williamson, and it is out of bounds.
How about that stat last night for Philadelphia against Toronto? Officially in the stat sheet gave up no fast break points. According to Jim O'Brien, who keeps a stat on everything. According to their stats, did give up 6 fast break points.
Williamson turned his head, and that'll be goaltending, I guess, on Philadelphia.
Yeah, D'Alembert looking quizzically. I don't think Corliss Williamson can jump that high to goaltend.
Looked like it went over the rim, didn't it? Yeah. The shot, but they
maybe somebody hit the rim.
To Dwight. Must have been something like that.
Or grab the net, or one of those many different things you can do.
Korver's 3 is no good. He's a 3-point gunner. Game tied at 10. Grant Hill, who has 8 of the 10, the All-Star. Looked like he got hacked on the arm, but must have been all ball from Kyle Korver. Iverson pushing the action once again and scores.
Difficult shot that time by Allen on the move. He makes that move going to his left so well. That little in-between shot, that little 7-8 footer, so difficult. And Allen takes so many of them that he's got to be extremely confident with all shots.
Allen Iverson played 42 minutes last night. This will be an offensive foul on Hill. That's Grant's first personal. It goes as a turnover as well. The third of the first period for the Magic, who trail by 2. Orlando with a win in Orlando on January the 22nd against the Sixers. Iguodala catching it in close. Cato with the smart foul. And Andre Iguodala, the rookie out of Arizona, will go to the free throw line.
Well, the 76ers consider Iguodala their best perimeter defender. That's saying something for a guy that only played 2 years of college basketball. They're trying to get him to be more aggressive offensively. That's the always ongoing search to find scoring help for Allen Iverson. Doesn't seem to be anybody that's ever felt comfortable in that role. I thought Keith Van Horn was doing a decent job of it, getting about 17 a game along with Iverson. That's about as good as you can do. Because way back when Allen was a rookie, Jerry Stackhouse averaged 20 a game, but that didn't work at all.
No, bad basketball team back then. They were both very young, however. Iverson under the rim and reverses it in. 8 points for Iverson. He's got 8 of Philly's 15. The Sixers lead is 3. Make it 1. Steve Francis buries his first jumper of the night.
Well, Allen Iverson is making it look way too easy with his ability to get into the lane. The big guys have to be looking to help out. You don't want to help out so much that you're going to give D'Alembert or Corliss Williamson an easy lay-in, but you've got to be looking to help your teammates right now while Iverson is being so aggressive looking for a shot.
This foul is on Dwight Howard. Dwight's first. It'll put Corliss Williamson on the free throw line. Williamson has had a terrific basketball career. Not very many players that can claim they've won a an NBA championship and a college championship. Corliss Williamson has done that with Detroit and with Arkansas back in the early 90s.
1994 to be exact. 10 years in the league for Corliss Williamson. Just came in as the big nasty out of Arkansas as a smallish type of big forward who has a very effective low post game. Wow.
Iverson getting to the basket again, but missed that time. Beautiful crossover by Francis, and the hop step gets him open.
And the crowd behind us oohing and eyeing with that move by Steve Francis. I don't know if in admiration or they thought he walked on the play.
A little of both, I think.
I think he did both.
D'Alembert stepping outside with the jump shot. You won't see that very often from young big man. And another offensive foul against Orlando. This one on Steve Francis.
For Orlando, number 14, Jameer Nelson.
Iverson now defended by Jameer Nelson. Williamson driving on Howard, missed the shot. Dwight Howard with the rebound. Nelson in the game for the foul play. Steve Francis. Jameer, a local hero here. Everybody talking about Jameer Nelson. Great college star in St. Joe's. And he gets the assist to Doug Christie, and Orlando ties the game at 18.
Well, last time we saw Philadelphia a few weeks ago, Jameer had himself an outstanding game. And forget about the 12 points. That was much needed, but 7 steals in that game. He really set a tone defensively.
Korver with that quick trick. And the ball tipped around, and the Sixers come up with the loose ball. Iverson for 2. 10 points for Allen Iverson, half of Philadelphia's first period total. D'Alembert rebounds. Christie almost had the steal. Iverson drops it off to Williamson. So far, Allen Iverson is just totally destructive against the Magic defense.
Well, you know, when you think points in the paint, you think low post game, you think second shots, stick backs, but points in the paint, and Philadelphia has just killed Orlando in that phase of the game, but it's mainly because of Iverson's penetration. Whether he's scoring himself, whether he's dishing off, or even if he's missing a shot in there, it turns into a good offensive rebound for especially a guy like D'Alembert.
And meanwhile, Grant Hill continues to put up some big numbers in the first quarter. 12 points for Grant Hill. 2-point lead for Philadelphia. Also in the game for Philly is veteran Aaron McKee. Iverson behind the screen. D'Alembert takes the rebound away from Cato, and a foul on Kelvin. Cato had the inside position, but somehow D'Alembert outfought him for the rebound. And that's personal foul number 2 on Kelvin Cato. Tony Battie will check in along with Hedo Turkoglu, and D'Alembert goes to the free throw line.
D'Alembert still a raw player, but has such terrific instincts and really plays well with and off Allen Iverson. Kind of follows him around, looks to get those little dishes, get those lobs, and he's been effective on the offensive boards tonight.
That was only the 4th team foul on the Magic, so no free throws coming for D'Alembert. Iverson once again right in the middle of the Magic defense, but Tony Battie got a piece of the shot.
Iverson just stops. Felt he got grabbed on the play, didn't get the whistle. All kinds of frustration on the part of Iverson.
Doug Christie's shot is way off target. Iverson is spending a lot of time in the paint, and the foul. This one on Tony Battie. And the Magic with timeout and 2:59 to play in the period.
Oh, yeah. And now in for Orlando, number 9, Sean Stevenson.
Jameer Nelson's first jumper of the game is no good, and a rebound to Aaron McKee. The 76ers with a 5-point lead. Allen Iverson already with 13 points for Philadelphia. Leading scorer in the NBA at 29 per game. But this time an offensive foul on D'Alembert as he cleared out a spot for Iverson to continue moving toward the basket.
Well, it's the Magic philosophy to send everything to the middle, and in many cases that's been effective for them. But with a guy like Iverson, and the last time we saw this team a few weeks ago, a couple times by accident, they forced them to do that, go down to the left baseline and make him take a tough shot.
And shot by Hedo Turkoglu gets Orlando back to within 3.
Now, first time the Magic have shown zone defense. And the guy that you have to worry about here is Kyle Korver.
There he is, Korver. Inside to Mark Jackson. Korver has time to take a dribble and look down at his feet. D'Alembert had the rebound. Looked like he might have taken a couple of steps. And that's off of the Magic. Dwight Howard got a hand on that as Nelson was trying to throw it off of D'Alembert, and then Dwight got a piece of it.
Yeah, Kyle Korver getting loose for that corner jump shot. Maybe he had too much time to line that one up as Tony Battie tried to help out in the lane.
Deshaun Stevenson in for the Magic as well. Korver gets into the Magic defense and puts it in. Long pass to Howard. He saves it back out to Turkoglu with 1.5 to go in the period. Deshaun Stevenson almost slips. Somehow stayed on his feet. The ball's out of bounds. Howard touched it last. '76ers with a record of 24-26. And going into tonight's NBA games, number 8 in the Eastern Conference. Magic number 6 in the East, and just a game and a half, or 2.5 rather, ahead of Philadelphia. And there's a foul on Turkoglu. The Magic only 3 games ahead of 9th place Indiana.
Well, David, there's that type of play I'm talking about with D'Alembert just making himself available as Tony Battie came over to help out. Job by Hedo Turkoglu to get down there and force a poor free throw shooter D'Alembert try to earn them from the free throw line.
D'Alembert 63% for the year. Pat Garrity in for the first time tonight for Howard.
You know, David, a lot of people around basketball disrespecting the Atlantic Division as of today. They've got 2 teams that are in playoff contention, and when you look at Philadelphia's schedule, they have played 6 less home games than they have played on the road, and Boston has played 1 more home game than they have on the road. So you would have to give the advantage to Philadelphia right now for even winning the Atlantic Division.
That's a good point. Philadelphia and Boston right now are 7 and 8 in the Eastern Conference, 7th and 8th best record. And Philly with Jim O'Brien at the helm, they've only played 22 home games and 28 on the road. So obviously their schedule is going to lighten up a little bit at some point.
And Chicago, who has played very well for the last 6-7 weeks, they're at 500, and they have a very difficult schedule come March and April.
Mark Jackson was double teamed. Iverson covered by Nelson. Iverson behind the screen fires in another jumper. He has 15 in the period. The 76ers lead is 7. Tony Battie. And the Sixers will play for the final shot of the quarter. Iverson played 42 minutes in the game last night in Toronto. And he has been a whirling dervish in the first 12 minutes tonight. Nelson turned his head just long enough. Doesn't take much for Iverson to scoot past him, and another foul on the Magic. This one on Battie, his second. And Allen Iverson goes back to the line.
Now, David, Allen Iverson is certainly quick enough, talented enough to handle the ball and get in the lane. But now if you're going to let him carry the ball like that, that is really putting the defense at a disadvantage. I mean, that's unbelievable. He carried the ball about 5 times on that possession.
But in his defense, he's not the only guy in the league.
He's only one of about 350. But you've got no chance. Even if you could put hands on this guy, it would be very, very difficult. But when you can't guide a guy or get a hand out on him, and then a guy can get that little hop step with the carry, all you can do is back off, sag, and make him take jump shots.
He's done a little bit of everything, even a steal here at the end of the quarter. And that shot was on line, but too strong. So that is how the first period will come to an end, with Allen Iverson leading the way. Exciting time for race fans in Central Florida and all across the USA. Steve Francis going to the basket and will get to the free throw line for the first time tonight. It'll be the first Magic free throw of the game as well.
Magic coming off that pick and roll on the strong side of the floor, drawing the double team and quickly getting it over to the other side. And this is where Philadelphia gets hurt defensively, with that kind of double team and with fronting the post if you attack it. Jim O'Brien calling out to his team, watch the half-court trap. This is an ideal time to zone up against this Sixer ball club with no Iverson on the floor right now. Full court trap. See if they settle back into a zone.
Willie Green is checked in. Aaron McKee's shot is no good, but tipped in by Mark Jackson. Philadelphia working very hard on the boards tonight. After rebounding well last night in Toronto, here's an offensive rebound for McKee. But McKee gets the loose ball for Philly. Mark Jackson just inside the three-point line, maybe a bit beyond his range. Francis defended by Iguodala. Steve dribbles around a Garrity screen. The pass to Nelson, the shot out of the corner, no good. Offensive rebound, Francis, and a foul on McKee.
Kind of a half-hearted effort on the part of the 76ers with trying to trap that high pick, and you see how you can get an open shot with good quick ball movement, and Jameer Nelson winding up with a wide open shot. And the other thing that you get here, and it's one of the reasons why Philadelphia is not a good rebounding team with all that scrambling, is you get that those little seams and cracks to get to the offensive board, and Steve read it very well. But there's no question Philadelphia has made it a point of emphasis lately. They've been getting out rebounded so much. It's a cause of some of their losses of late, and they did out rebound Toronto tonight, and they've been much more aggressive on the boards here.
Jim O'Brien in his first year as head coach of the Philadelphia 76ers, and done a pretty good job without Iverson. You take the rest of this roster here, and not a lot of big time support around Allen Iverson on this team.
But they figured to pretty much be right around that 500 mark. They're 3 below now. They have, counting tonight, 3 home games before the All-Star break, and probably be right where they should be. I don't know why the expectations would be any higher for this group of players. But in Philadelphia, of course, it is.
They're 2 games under 500 going into tonight, as Willie Green missing in close in the rebound to Nelson. Francis almost broke Iguodala's ankles with that crossover.
Yeah, Iguodala's kind of chuckling, saying thanks for not making me look real bad. Turkoglu made his first shot tonight, and he'll get to the line on the drive to the basket.
He's fouled by Aaron McKee. McKee's second personal. And after shooting no free throws in the first period, the Magic have done a better job of attacking the basket in the second. Francis already with 3 free throws in the period, and now Turkoglu rattles the first one in. Kyle Korver returns for Aaron McKee.
Yeah, Jim O'Brien does not like to keep Kyle Korver off the floor too long, whether it's with or without Allen Iverson. Of course, with Iverson out there, Korver helps spread the floor. And right now they need some kind of a scoring threat, and Willie Green will give them that.
Nelson had to steal. Garrity bats it ahead, but Iguodala hustling back gets it back for Philly. And Willie Green launches a 3. Philly going to the offensive boards, and the Magic a bit flat-footed there. Corliss Williamson with the putback. Williamson now has 9 for Philadelphia. Willie Green got a hand on it. Jameer gets it back, shoots from 20.
Must be a wet spot there.
Hedo Turkoglu deflects it away from Green. 3-on-1, Francis, and a foul on Williamson. Boy, Steve Francis is so strong, taking the ball strong and finishing despite contact from defenders. Remarkable the way he's able to do that.
Hedo Turkoglu and Jameer Nelson teaming up nicely to come up with that steal. And Steve Francis in this game picked up 2 relatively quick personal fouls. Had to go to the bench, but since he has come back out on the floor, has done nothing but attack the basket. And it's always a good idea for Steve. Not only can he finish himself, but he can draw those fouls.
And Steve Francis's free throw makes it a 4-point game. 9-4 in the period in favor of the Magic. They trail by 9 at the end of the first. Of course, all of this with Iverson on the bench getting a break. Williamson, jump hook, and it goes in over Dwight Howard. 11 for Corliss Williamson.
Dwight has to do a better job of taking that middle lane away from Corliss Williamson. He's got to cut that off, make Williamson turn to the baseline.
Allen Iverson returns to the lineup for Philadelphia. He was terrific in the first 12 minutes for Philadelphia.
Well, David, his body is battered and bruised. He's got a partial tear of the rotator cuff. He's battling the flu. But he never forgets where his offense is. He can certainly get his own shots. Let's keep an eye on his carrying the ball. And I guess the more that he is able to do that without being called for it, the more leeway he's going to take.
And why not?
I'd be complaining a little. I'd be sending tapes. But before you play Philadelphia, load up a whole bunch of those carries by Iverson. Just put it in the mind of the officials. Even if you get only one call, it would make Allen think a little bit.
Well, now Steve Francis taking on the Iverson challenge for the first time tonight. Doug Christie started the game defending Iverson. Iverson backing in, forced a shot. Howard with the rebound. 5-point lead for Philadelphia. Iverson inside to Howard, and a foul on Dallenberg, and Dwight takes a bad spill. But he comes up smiling.
Allen Iverson's last attempt to get to the basket, all kinds of contact, and didn't get the call. Stayed back there to talk to the official, and
right
that
in the face.
Yeah, that made the Philadelphia defense break down, and Steve Francis found the open man, but Dwight Howard paid dearly for it.
Howard and Francis, the only 2 Orlando players to start all 49, now 50 games. Tonight, game number 50. By the way, for Grant Hill, it is his 48th game. And remember, 47 was the number that Grant had played in 4 seasons with the Magic before this year. So already this season, Grant Hill playing in more games than in the previous 4 years. And still strong as ever. Orlando going to zone up this time with Grant Hill on the point. Throw it inside to Dallenberg, then outside to Iverson. And Iverson just steps right through there and lays it in.
Now, even though it wasn't sharp or crisp, just the fact that they made that interior pass against the zone made it collapse and draw it towards the basket. And now you get good opportunities when you get it back out on the perimeter with a shot or a drive.
Francis's jumper was challenged by Iverson. And here he comes, a 6-time All-Star. Going to start for the Eastern Conference out in Denver on February the 20th. Grant Hill will be a teammate. Iguodala throws it up top. Back into Dallenberg, and that is so easy. It's just not what you would expect. To be able to throw it outside unchallenged, then inside unchallenged.
Now, Grant Hill at the top of that zone dropped all the way down when the ball was in the corner to try to help out on Dallenberg, who was set up inside. And that let Corliss Williamson catch easily, and Steve Francis gets a poke in the eye.
Drops the ball. Iverson picks it up. Dallenberg drops it, so the Magic have a chance to get out of this. but Iverson makes him pay. 21 for Allen Iverson. Francis is on the deck. And the easiest steal for Allen Iverson this year, and he already ranks 3rd in the league. But he'll not get one easier than this. Let's see what happened to Steve. Right there, he got slapped right in the face. Accidentally by Allen Iverson. Doug Christie checks in for Steve Francis. Trainer Ted Arzonico continues to work on Steve. Grant Hill also re-entered for Orlando. And Philly's off and running again, leading by 10. Korver for 3. Another assist for Allen Iverson, and the Sixers build a 13-point lead.
Korver's first of the night. Was 1 for 4 from beyond the arc in Toronto last night. His only 3 points in 32 minutes. The 76ers in it's a matchup zone or whatever. They very rarely play a straight 1-2-2 zone, but certainly looked like one there.
It did look like a matchup. Iverson shovels it ahead to Williamson. Well, how many field goals does Philly have at the basket?
28.
Thank you.
Since you asked.
Williamson's got 13 total. There's a nice driving shot by Hedo Turkoglu. Cut into that Philadelphia lead, now 13.
Coming out of that timeout, Allen Iverson went down on the bench to check on Steve Francis. He knew he caught him in the face or eye area. Make sure Steve was all right.
Iverson with the jumper. 15-point lead again for the 76ers. Grant Hill quickly gets 2 back for the Magic. Scoring parade in the second period. We still have 5:12 to play in a quarter. Sixers already sitting on 50. Here goes Iverson. Knocked out of bounds. Allen wanted a foul that time. Take a look at how Francis got hurt. You'll see Iverson take a swipe right there and catch Steve in the face. And there's only 3 officials out there, so can't expect them to see everything. Williamson missing the shot and a rebound. Dwight Howard. A dangerous outlet pass, though. Saved by Doug Christie. Turkoglu driving on Iguodala. Tough defender, and Hedo missing the shot. Long pass ahead from Korver to Iverson. And a foul on Turkoglu. Boy, Allen Iverson putting on a show tonight. He puts on a show almost every night.
Just about every night. The big differences in Allen's game, sometimes he'll go one of those 7 for 24 jobs. But the thing about Allen Iverson, which makes him so tough, when he is going 7 for 24, he's getting to the free throw line 10, 11, 12, 15 times a game with his ability to draw contact.
A technical foul called on Turkoglu. Referee James Capers with that call, and Iverson will shoot the free throw, but first a technical free throw for Kyle Korver. Korver shooting 87% from the foul line, so he adds 1 more to his total and now has 8 for the night. Good news for the Magic. Steve Francis will check back in. And Iverson shooting 2 free throws for Philadelphia. He's now 6 of 6 on the line, has 22 points in the half. He's had an incredible year, his 29th year. Back-to-back 50-plus point games. Only 7 players in NBA history have done that, and Iverson did it this year. The way he's going tonight, he might put 50 up in this one already with 24 points in the ballgame, or 25 rather now. Francis's jumper's no good, and a rebound Iguodala. Cato getting it back, and a shot no good, but a foul on Philly. This foul on Williamson is his second, and it sends Kelvin Cato to the free throw line for the first time tonight.
Now, Philadelphia, a very strange team in that Jim O'Brien is preaching defense all the time. He's telling everybody how his team is making progress defensively, and the statistics say otherwise. But Jim has his own statistics that prove it to him and his team and his coaching staff. But they are quite an offensive team while all that's going on, and when they get over 100 points, they are very tough to deal with. 19-5, yeah. When they get over 100.
Yeah, right now they're well on their way. A 15-point lead. Francis hits the deck, does not get a call, and D'Alembert rifles in a jumper. D'Alembert's got 6. Philadelphia leads by 17, 55-38. Began breaking this thing open in the first period, late in the quarter, when they finished the first on a 9-2 run. Francis's pass a little bit low for Dwight Howard. Iverson drops it back to Korver. Nice job by Steve to cover up Korver. And a horrid shot by Samuel D'Alembert. Iverson, no good. It's or rather Francis defended by Iverson. Steve upset again. Iverson for 3. Long rebound to Korver. Back out to Iverson.
How many bad shots can one team take? And I'm talking about Philadelphia. Those last 2, the jumper by D'Alembert, the other jumper by Iverson, and Steve Francis upset that he didn't get the call on his way to the basket as he was disrupted and maybe hit by Allen Iverson.
Steve's in foul humor to begin with because he got poked in the face without a foul call. And let's see what happened on this particular play.
Steve going a little hop here, and Allen Iverson caught him down low in the back area, leg area.
Kept his arms down and shoved him in the back
with the left arm.
A clever play to
the officials really
so obvious.
You gotta protect the guy going to the basket. You also got to protect the guy when he gets poked in the eye and goes down in a heap.
He's done neither for Steve Francis so far tonight. Steve picking up his 15th technical foul of the season. Philly off and running off the turnover, and this time an offensive foul against the 76ers. Iguodala picking up his 3rd. Grant Hill taking the contact there.
Iguodala out of control there, trying to be aggressive and going to the hoop. But Jim O'Brien a little beside himself right now. He yanked D'Alembert out of there after that horrible jump shot. Iguodala out of control. Of course, there's not too much you can do when Iverson takes a couple bad shots. Got to live with those.
But what he does like is an 18-point lead.
Yeah, that's
3 minutes to go.
He's shaking his head. How are we leading? We're just not playing the smartest basketball game in the world, but the Magic are having problems at both ends of the floor.
Well, Allen Iverson with 25 points in the first half of the game. Steve Francis frustrated right now. Steve with 12 to lead Orlando. Or actually, Grant Hill has 14. Those 2 Magic players in double figures, but been a frustrating night for Steve.
Magic looked sharp offensively early with shooting 52% from the field, but have gone ice cold. 4 for 17. Basically have stopped taking the ball to the basket with authority. Taking some bad shots.
And they've let the officiating get in their heads a little bit last couple of minutes. Howard backing in on Mark Jackson. Too strong and too high off the glass.
Well, there's just no need to hurry against Mark Jackson, who's not a good interior defender.
Jackson is a tough low post player, however. That shot no good, though. Defended well by Dwight and Cato. Grant Hill unable to finish. Iverson, his eyes light up as Cato, the only defender there, and he fires in the jumper. 27 for Allen Iverson. And a 20-point lead for Philadelphia, their biggest.
Well, the middle of last week, they pretty much said that Allen was going to have to shut it down for a while because of the flu. Not missed a minute since they said that. Had a terrific game against Memphis here earlier in the week, although the Magic lost it by, or I should say the Sixers lost it by 3. And then 30 last night in Toronto.
He might get his per game average in the first half tonight, and he leads the league in scoring at 29 per game. Williamson with great low post position. And a rebound is lost by Philadelphia.
Well, the big difference that time, though, David, was Dwight Howard took away that right-hand move into the lane from Corliss Williamson, made him turn the other way. And then the length of Dwight Howard can become a factor.
Francis on the drive, and Iverson got him. A little hand check foul on Allen, his first personal foul of the game.
And maybe the first time in 9 years that Allen has said good call. I agree with it.
When you got 27 and a half, you're in a pretty good humor, I guess.
He's usually whining about everything.
Philadelphia is over the limit, and if Francis can focus in on one rim, and hopefully he can keep shooting the free throws well. 12 points for Steve. Still a little bit shaken up after getting poked in the eye earlier in this period.
And I think Steve Francis got an eyeful of Allen Iverson back in the day when Steve was growing up in the Washington, D.C. area, and Allen was at Georgetown, doing all kinds of things, positive things for John Thompson and the Georgetown Hoyas those 2 seasons. First pick in the draft, Allen Iverson, which really didn't surprise anybody. He was clearly the most talented player coming out of that draft 10 years ago.
Well, you know, also he settled down a lot. Matt, he used to be very temperamental. This shot no good. And a long toss ahead. Great catch and finish by Francis. Well, that was a special play by Steve there to make that thing work. But Iverson with only 3 technical fouls called on him this year. Just a couple of years ago, he had 18 technicals called against him. So he seems to be mellowing a little bit in his old age. Mark Jackson with the long jumper.
Well, there was always the contentious relationship between Allen Iverson and Larry Brown, and I think Allen really thrived with, for the most part. And Larry always pushing a little bit, but Allen had to show his frustration somewhere. Knew he couldn't yell at the coach, although he probably did that a time or 2.
Kelvin Cato scores for the first time from the field tonight. Only 10 seconds left in the quarter. And a 16-point lead. The foul taken by Christie. The Magic had one to give. Johnny Davis gets Steve Francis out of the ball game. Steve with 2 personals. Jameer Nelson returning. And Brandon Hunter will check in for Kelvin Cato, who also, or rather Dwight Howard, will check out rather. And Brandon checks in for the first time since coming off the injured list a couple of days back. Iverson will have his season average in the first half. 29. NBA's leading scorers got that many already. And there's a foul before the buzzer. Free throws will be coming for Jameer Nelson.
I don't know if the officials are going to say that the foul was not in the act of shooting.
Well, it's a penalty situation either way.
Doesn't matter. Oh, they're going to take a look at the replay to see if the foul was committed before the red light went on, which I think it clearly was.
Yeah, that's going to be an easy one. The officials have to review it if it's close, and close enough it is. So they'll take a look at the monitor, but I would be shocked if Jameer Nelson is not going to the free throw line.
Aaron McKee getting up in years, unable to get himself under control, and a smart play by Jameer Nelson to draw that contact. Oh, I also want to see whether or not Jameer left his feet from beyond the arc. So it'll be what are they saying, 3 or 2 free throws? 3 shots.
They're giving him 3. So a big play there. The Magic, if Jameer can take care of business on the free throw line, can cut the lead to 15. Oh, yeah. This is the first.
Yeah.
Yeah, easily behind the 3-point line.
As of course he landed inside the free throw line. Was Jameer ever a broad jumper in high school? That's pretty good distance.
Well, he missed that one even worse than the first. Jameer was a very good free throw shooter at St. Joe's, 79%. But he goes 0 for 3 at the end of the second quarter. 62-44, and what a spectacular first half for Philadelphia's Allen Iverson, named to the All-Star team about a week ago, and Iverson showing why he is perhaps, Matty, having his best all-around year in his ninth season in the NBA.
Well, they have labeled him the point guard this year after spending the last 5 or 6 as the so-called 2 guard. But really, Allen is just a basketball player, and a very, very good one. Having an outstanding night, as he seems to do against every night against the Orlando Magic. He also, to go along with those 29 points, has 4 assists and no turnovers. And Allen Iverson comes into the game averaging 4 turnovers a game.
Well, Iverson had 38 against Orlando 3 weeks ago on a Saturday night in Orlando, and a game the Magic were able to squeeze out a victory, 115-111. An exciting Saturday night at the TD Waterhouse Center just 3 weeks ago. Can the Magic come back here tonight in the second half? We'll find out here shortly as you look at Iverson's numbers. He also has 3